this dramatization, you'll meet Miguel, a 17-year-old with a history of truancy, fighting, and multiple arrests since age 14, around the time his mother passed from cancer. He lives with his grandmother and siblings and only occasionally sees his father, who lives out of state. Recently, Miguel was arrested for public intoxication and resisting arrest, occurring during COVID pandemic restrictions. His previous therapist of several years has transitioned out, and he's struggling to make a real connection with his new therapist.
I'm glad to see you. It's been, 6 weeks, something like that.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I had to ask you normally what's new since we last saw each other, but I got a pretty good rundown from your grandmother.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. She told me she talked to you. She told me that's why I had to be here, so.
I mean, here's the pieces I know and the pieces I don't know. The piece I know is she said you and your buddies were at the park last week, and you guys, according to her, okay, that you guys were drinking and that some kids were smoking pot, and the cops came and you ended up getting arrested, charged for a bunch of stuff. I don't know what all, she wasn't, I think, clear what was going on with that. But I know you got a court date.
Yeah. Me and a few of my friends, we got arrested with a couple different charges, so.
She's obviously, as you know, real upset.
Of course she is. She just, she hears what the police say and she listens to them before she listens to anything I have to tell her. And so she just hears that I was drinking, that I was smoking, that we resisted the cops arresting us, and she just hears all these awful things and just doesn't, I don't know, she just hears that, and that's all she cares about.
So that's how the police tell the story. How would you tell the story?
With the way everything is now, with the masks and everything. We just wanted to hang out. We chose the park because we can't go over to anyone's house anymore. Surely can't have anyone here. And, I met up with Matthew, and then a bunch of other people started coming. Some people brought, some beer. Some people brought some pot. But, we weren't doing anything that other people in the park weren't doing. There were, a bunch of small groups of people there. Everyone was just kind of enjoying the nice day. Time passed, the cops showed up, and they came right for our group.
Right for you and your friends.
Of course they did.
When you say of course they did, what do you mean?
Isn't it odd? Do I have to say it? I mean, I was hanging out with Juan Carlos and Matthew, who's black, so I'm literally the lightest of all of them.
So it felt like they made a beeline for you guys.
Look, I'm not trying to say what, we were doing wasn't wrong. I know we're not 21. We're not supposed to be drinking, but is it so bad that you need to put your hands on me and my friends and throw us in the back of a car and arrest us? There were so many other kids, younger than us even, at the park that day doing exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
Just, I feel like this kind of stuff just follows me around. It just keeps happening again and again.
It sounds like it was so scary.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah. And you say it follows you around. It happens again and again.
It's not one thing, it's the other.
of how you get treated or of bad things happening?
Both. How bad things happening and then how I get treated because of those things happening. How I get treated and then that leads to bad things happening. It just seems like it's a cycle.
It sounds like you feel just so stuck in it.
Literally. I mean, I literally feel stuck here in this house, even in my own room.
Yeah. When was the last time, I don't know if you remember this, but when was the last time you felt, I don't know if free is the right word, but freer?
I don't know. I guess when I was playing soccer. Got to just play and have fun. I felt free when I got to play with my friends, I guess.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
I mean, I haven't played soccer, wow, in a long time.
I don't know if I knew why you gave it up. It was before you and I knew each other.
Yeah, I was still getting in trouble then, like I am now, so I thought it was best that I stopped hanging around with some of the kids I was hanging around with, some of the kids on the team.
That's a big loss, to have lost the thing that helped you to feel free.
Told her that I wanted to keep playing, that it made me happy, but, you know, my safety came first, I guess.
You know what I'm thinking about in what you just said? You were saying, like, back then I was getting in trouble like I am now. But as I understand it, the stuff that was going on back then was kind of different, right? You had lost your mom. I know you don't like to talk about that, but your whole world just got changed in such a massive way. I mean, I don't have the words for it. And things fell apart for you for a while.
I mean, yeah, it's not like my mom died again or anything, but it's not like I don't have things going on that changed my world too. I just like with Corona, I want to see my friends, but I can't. That's a world changing thing that maybe is making me feel sad more often or angry more often, like I did, you know, when mom passed.
Yeah. The things for a while back then felt so hard and awful that you had to deal with it, and that things were going actually pretty well for you for a while there, and the world just kind of shifted again recently. And you've been feeling, I think, pretty trapped and pretty alone, and I can't imagine in control of much.
I don't really feel like I have the ability to not be here.
To not be in your house?
Yeah.
So you tried to get out. I don't mean like you tried to escape or whatever, but you finally are in a place where you're able to get out a little bit with your friends for the first time in months, right?
Yeah. The only time I got to talk to my friends before was if I was, you know, like playing video games with them, but I didn't get to see them.
Yeah. Was this the first time that you got out to the park since all this started?
Not the first time. One of the first times I was allowed to go.
Right. Okay. All right. So you've been out other times.
Yeah, and Boyla knows, so you can tell her too. I'm not going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
She just didn't know when I was going out.
Miguel, I'm not reporting back.
I mean, most adults tend to talk to each other about the things I do, so you're one of them.
Yeah, well, I feel like we should go back over the confidentiality thing and what and when I say.
I mean, I remember you telling me all that, but like, I guess I don't understand what you're gonna do with all of this if you're not able to tell anybody about it. How is this helpful then?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So, how could this be helpful? You met with someone before me. You used to meet with Philip, right?
Yeah.
He and you had more in common than you and I do.
Yeah.
You know, not that like these basic categories are everything who we are, but like he was a guy, he was younger, he was black.
Yeah.
You and I don't share a lot of those same categories.
No. Which I guess, I hadn't really thought about it too much, but like, do you understand like what it's like?
I don't think I can ever fully understand what it's like to be in your shoes.
That makes sense.
The thing is, I'm never going to know what it's like to walk in your shoes, right? It's like you don't know what it's like to walk in my shoes. We're really different people, you and me.
Yeah.
But does that mean that I can't be in your corner?
No. But just because Abuela tells me I need to be here, and she talks to you, and I have a court date because of the police. It feels like it doesn't feel like I really have you in my corner. It feels like you're just here to report to them.
You know, I'm hearing you say, though, right now, you feel like there's like this anti-Miguel alliance happening, and your grandmother's on it. Like, does it feel like that? That she's in there with the cops and the judge and the court?
Yeah. It's hard to say that, but yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like she's holding you back. Can I tell you what I hear when I talk to her? This doesn't change it or make it better or make it different for you. What I hear when I talk to her is she is so scared. She's so scared of bad things happening to you.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know.
she's my grandma, so it makes sense that she'd be scared about what's going to happen to me. Doesn't mean she needs to
Yeah.
force me to do things.
You know, as soon as I said it, I just saw your whole body like, it's almost like the words were this weight that just sat on you, right? It's got to feel like that sometimes, this weight of being okay. What that means, like, what does it mean to be okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not hurt. I'm not sick, but yeah, I guess I could be a lot worse. I could be sick.
No, yeah, I even mean it like in the bigger, like this weight on you to not be in trouble, to not get hurt, to not get arrested, like all this stuff that's sort of sitting on your shoulders. And last week you tried to be okay, right? You tried to go out and see your friends, and your grandmother knew you were going out. You weren't breaking any rules, right? And you tried to be okay, and you got arrested.
I think that just, it further just shows what I was saying, that like, I don't know, I just feel like this stuff follows me. It just feels like everyone expects me to be this person that I'm not.
Who do you think they expect you to be?
I feel like people just want me to be better than my dad, be more like my mom.
You never talked much to me about your mom.
What's there to say? She's not here anymore.
Well, she's not here physically. I'm guessing you carry her around with you in a lot of ways.
I suppose.
What kind of
But,
person was she? Oh, I'm sorry, Miguel, I cut you off.
It's okay. She was strict. She was a strict mom, but I loved her.
Yeah. Just thinking, you say people want you to be like her and not like your dad.
I don't know. I don't really feel like my mom. Well, I definitely see me like my dad. Sometimes I hear them talk about me the way they talk about him. He used to get in this kind of trouble when he was my age.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't understand. Because, he's fine. So why is it such a big deal that I'm going through all this now? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Have you and your dad talked about this? I know you talk to him every now and then. I don't know when you and he last talked, but does he know about what's going on right now?
He knows. I called him and told him, but Abuela already spoke to him too. So
Is he as upset as she is?
no.
No?
And I guess what we talked about, which stuck with me more than anything, was just that people already see me as older than I am.
Yeah.
So they have different expectations of me than someone would if they knew I was just a teenager.
You told me, I remember at one point, that your dad had skin that was a lot darker than yours. And
Yeah.
that you and he have talked about what that's like to walk through the world like that.
We talked about it, and this was the first time something like this has happened because of it, so.
Yeah. So your dad thinks that people see you as older, right? But I don't know that how your grandma sees you and how the cops see you and how your dad sees you are all the same.
I'd hope not.
I don't know if you can put words to this or not, but when the cops came up to you, how did it feel like they saw you?
Like I had already done something wrong. So I guess like a criminal.
Mm-hmm. If what people saw when they looked at me was criminal, there'd be one part of me, maybe a small part of me, I don't know, saying, fine, if that's how you see me, that's what I'm going to be. And maybe there'd be another part of me saying, I am going to prove you wrong.
Well, I don't want to be a criminal, so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I want to prove people wrong, but I also want to, if I'm being honest, I want to have a drink with my friends if I want to. If that makes me a criminal, then.
Yeah, it's not fair that there's this burden of proof. It shouldn't have to be perfect. There shouldn't be this continuum, right, where there's criminal and there's perfect, and that's the only two possibilities. Because it's not.
Yeah, I don't think I'm perfect either, and I definitely don't think I'm a criminal, so.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. If you had to define you in that middle area, right? You see yourself in that middle area. You're not here, even if people sometimes see you like that. And you're not here, even if it's how your grandma wishes you could be. Maybe. Right?
Definitely.
Okay. So you're somewhere in here. If you had to describe the in here that you see yourself as, right? If I was to say to you, Miguel, who are you, right? How do you see yourself? What are the words that go with Miguel? Not criminal, not perfect. What are you? What are some of those words?
how do I describe myself? Or like who?
If you had to pick the labels, right? All these people are picking labels for you, right? People are looking at you and they're labeling you based on what they see or what they wish for or what they want. But you get to give yourself your own labels.
I mean, that's difficult. I mean, I'm a brother and a
Okay.
son and an uncle now. I play soccer. So I don't know, I'm a striker. I guess I don't really know how to really describe myself.
Yeah, no, it's a good start. So you're someone who has connected relationships to other people, and you're someone who has a skill and a talent and something you care about. Right? Those are parts of who you are.
Yeah.
All right. I know we're getting close to the end here. I want to give you a homework assignment, but I think let me give you a thinking. I know. I'm not going to ask you to do it because I don't expect you to necessarily come back with like something written down. If your brain has space for it, all right, I'd love you to just sit with how you would describe yourself, what those words would be. If you have space for it.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's so many people telling you who you are or who you should be. And I don't know how much space there is for you right now to find that for yourself.
I mean, yeah, it feels like everyone's telling me what I should do.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like anyone cares what I want to do because they just assume it's gonna, I guess, lead to more trouble.
Yeah. I would love it if the next time we saw each other, we could think more about how you see yourself, who you are, who you want to be.
I mean, I'll try to.
All right. You don't have to come back with like an essay prepared.
It's just difficult to know.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay.